Hey everyone, I just finished watching Aquaman for the second time, and I'll have to say, I love this movie. Directed by James Wan, starring Jason Momoa as Aquaman and Amber Heard as Mera. It takes place in Atlantis, and it's all underwater, and I'll have to say that the visual effects are astounding. I highly recommend that everyone goes out and sees this movie, and I'll have to say that I actually prefer this movie to Wonder Woman and Man of Steel, which are my top two DCEU movies so far, so I actually think that this movie is the best of all of them. The plot is kind of crazy. You shouldn't go in there expecting a Dark Knight kind of movie. It's as far away from the realistic version of superheroes that the Dark Knight brought us. It's, sharks with lasers and crabs that are armored, etc., etc. So it's a lot of noise, a lot of explosions, a lot of underwater visuals, which were really, really well done by James Wan. You can see that his directing from the Conjuring universe, for instance, all his horror background came back in a couple of scenes. However, there are some scenes where you can clearly tell that James Wan struggles a bit with the emotional, drama-based sequences. So whenever two characters are having, in-depth conversations with one another, it's entertaining, but there's not that much emotion. But other than that, really, there are some crazy underwater fight scenes. I think the third act is the best third act that I've seen in a movie in quite some time. He really nailed how to do it. And Jason Momoa is Aquaman. I loved Amber Heard as well as Mera. She was a strong, powerful superhero herself, and then a love interest. So it wasn't the love interest first. I thought their relationship was very well developed. I really liked the relationship between Aquaman's parents, and the whole setup to the story was really well done. Black Manta is excellent in this movie. I loved him. However, he wasn't used as much as I would like him to have been used. Other than that, I will say that the score is wonderful. I've been listening to it nonstop, and I love the score. There's some non-score, like regular soundtrack choices that I could have done without, but the humor is actually very well done. I thought that a lot of the jokes landed, and my audience really seemed to resonate with the characters on screen. Visually, I think the hand-to-hand combat is really, really, really well done, especially the hand-to-hand combat involving Aquaman and Black Manta. There's a scene in the desert which seems to be very, very, very well choreographed and done. Sorry, that's not the desert, that's in Greece, but nonetheless, it's very well done. And I also thought that lastly, the visual effects were very well done. There's this one scene, I won't give it away, but it has to do with a different version of the underwater people. And there are different species of underwater people, and you can clearly tell that James Wan's horror and VFX background really came to fruition in that scene, so that was probably my favorite part of the movie. It felt really long, but I enjoyed everything in it, so I would expect to go in with that in mind. There are a couple of scenes that can make the casual audience feel kind of out of place, because if you're going in there expecting a nice fun time with explosions and crazy action and fun performances, you're gonna get that. But if you're going in there looking for a good story, a really, really well done script, I don't think you're gonna find that. But that's not the movie it's trying to be. It's trying to go for a cheesy underwater adventure, because that's never really been done before to this scale. And I do think that I would like to see an Aquaman 2 with James Wan. I would definitely like to see an Aquaman 2, but especially with James Wan. And I really hope that the relationship between Mera and Aquaman is more developed, because I really, really, really enjoyed that. The third act with Ocean Master is really well done, I think. I really liked his character more. However, now that they've focused on him for the first movie, I hope that Black Manta plays a bigger role somehow in the second movie. And other than that, I really liked the performances of Dolph Lundgren, who was also a supporting character, and all the visual settings. They really did a good job in creating the world, much like Ryan Coogler did with Black Panther earlier this year. It's very much a world-building origin story without it actually being a typical origin story. So it's not really like a Marvel Phase 1 movie. It's more of like, oh, that Phase 1 has already happened. It's more of a Phase 2 developing the world a bit more, delving into the psyche of the Aquaman character. So I really think that everyone will enjoy this movie. I'd probably give it around an 85%, and I hope you guys go out and check it out. I really think that this movie can do very well, and I think it has a casual, broad audience appeal because I was in a theater with tons of kids, tons of adults, even some grandparents that they all seem to pretty much enjoy it. I think this will be one of the DCEU movies that is very well regarded. I know it has around like a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes now, and I think it deserves a little bit higher, to be honest, but I really, really, really enjoyed it. Again, my favorite movie in the DCEU, and I will have to say there's this one scene in the end giant battle involving the relationship between Aquaman and Mera, which blew me away. It was wonderful. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. My name is Antonio Diaz. Thanks so much for watching.